The hardest thing for narcissists to accept is the realization that the world can move on without them. Hi, my name is James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, I wanted to give some color in the lines a little bit as to why I think Kody may have been acting out during the tell-alls against Suki and against TLC. And this is in addition to what I mentioned earlier about his influences from the internet, forums and websites that he may have been visiting, because he started dropping a lot of hints that he might be involved with the whole manosphere community. But I think that there's an additional reason as to why he was acting out and why he was acting the way he was acting during the tell-alls. Now, before we get into it, I first want to say thank you to anybody who takes any time to watch these videos. I genuinely appreciate it. I also want to thank my subscribers. Wow, you guys are really helping to grow the channel, and I am amazed and I'm astounded. I am eternally grateful for you guys' support and for you guys being involved with the channel. Third, I like to say to anybody who's watching the videos and you guys are considering subscribing, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's easy to do. It's free. It's fun. It's great. And it really helps the channel out. It helps me out. And hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So go ahead, give me that HBO special down below by clicking the subscribe button and ringing the bell for notification of when I upload new videos. Thanks. Now let's get it. Now, when we start talking about Kody's whole appearance and the way he came out during the tell-all, I think that ultimately he came off like a chauvinist pig. It was extremely creepy when he first, from the moment that he walked out onto the stage and he walks over to Suki and he's ready to give her a hug. Like, you're not that close to Suki. Like, you guys may have interacted previously with tell-alls, but you guys aren't buddies. And the fact that you're walking out, you have wives, and you're walking out trying to give this woman a hug, and she's not the huggy type person, at least with you, says a lot. Then the whole, oh, I'm crying, and he's supposedly so upset, and then he reaches out and grabs her legs, and she didn't know what the hell to do. It's a little off-putting, and I thought it was a little creepy and weird that you reach out and you touch this woman that you're not familiar with. So there's that. And it's just the whole aggressive way that he was talking to her, and we'll get into that in another video. But the reason why I think that he was acting the way he was, and it just clicked for me one day, I was just sitting there thinking about it. He's a narcissist, and he has at least narcissistic personality tendencies. And if you don't categorize him that as an official diagnosis, which I don't, I would say that him being a selfish person, one of the most difficult things for a selfish person to do is realize that you or people around you or anybody else in the world may have thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions that don't have anything to do with them. They think that the entire world is centered around them. If you start laughing across the room, they think you're either laughing with them or you're laughing at them. If you are talking to your friend, they think you're talking about them. And in Kody's particular situation, he has an inflated ego to the point where he thinks that everyone should be loyal to him. And if he has a relationship with you, he requires that loyalty, and he calls it respect, but he requires that loyalty from the people that he deals with, even to the detriment of the people that he is dealing with. For instance, when he's dealing with Janelle, he wanted Janelle to be more loyal to him than she is to herself. When he was dealing with Janelle and he was talking about the kids and coming over for the holidays, he wanted Janelle to choose him over her children. And even the things that she wanted to do. She was excited about her kids all coming into town. She hasn't had that in a while. She wanted to spend, at least Christmas or the holidays with her family as a unit, and she wanted to spend that time with him, and that was something that was important to her. But as far as Kody was concerned, because she didn't put his needs above hers, then she betrayed him. How does this affect the tell-all? Well, in my estimation, I think that in Kody's mind, he believes that TLC has betrayed him as well. He thinks that TLC is being disloyal to him. because of the way that they portrayed Christine's departure from the marriage. When they talked about the marriage, they held it out as though Christine in, was it season 16, she packed his stuff up and she put it in boxes and he stood there and pretended like he didn't know what was happening and he was so confused and he didn't understand what was going on. And Christine was being extremely selfish because she first moved him out of the bedroom and then she moved him out of the house entirely and he had no idea what was going on. And his expectations from a person who is selfish would be that TLC shows it from the aspect or from the point of view, from his point of view, meaning that Christine should have been shown and demonstrated to be a selfish person. That should have been a narrative. The editing button should have been used heavily to make Christine look like this evil, maniacal person who was trying to ruin him and the family. Then you move into season 17 as he's watching the videos because trust and believe me when I say this, Kody is not the kind of guy who's just sitting around not paying attention to what's being said about him. He is completely aware that both he and Robin are the objects of people's ire, that they look at him and they criticize him and they talk about him. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised that he has seen my videos. If you told me, James, he's seen your videos, especially some of the rants where you go off on him about how he's acting towards his wives or his children, that he may have seen one of those videos and he probably doesn't like it, I would say, Kody, if you don't like it, come and see me. But at the same time, I noted he would take an exception to it. He don't know what's going on. He has no idea. That's his problem. He's a simple, whatever they say, blue pill or whatever. And it dismissed me that way. But at the end of the day, people who are that narcissistic or that egotistical, I'll use that word. People who are that egotistical will never allow anybody to talk bad about them. And they never want to be seen or viewed or perceived to be or presented to be a bad person or less than or lacking in something. And the way TLC has displayed him and portrayed him throughout this season, he is lacking a lot. As a father, as a husband, as a man, he is lacking a lot. So from that regard, he sees TLC as the enemy because they're taking Christine's side. Because as we recall, when he started talking about Janelle, his whole argument and his beef with Janelle isn't the fact that, she just wouldn't buy the house. It was the fact that she is friends with Christine. As he said on the stage, I don't get that when the two of them hugged. Or Janelle hugged Christine at the end of him flipping out and cussing her out. He expected those three women to jump up and follow him off the porch. And what his expectation is that everybody start to isolate and shun Christine and possibly her children, unfortunately, and punish them because they weren't being loyal to him. What he fully expects from Janelle is for her to shun her children because they weren't being loyal to him. And if somebody can do that to his wives, he can do that to his kids, there's no reason in the world why I would imagine that he wouldn't have that same expectation and that same level of expectation for a TV show or for a production company that he's doing business with. In Kody's mind, and I'm relatively certain of this, that in Kody's mind, Sister Wives is his show. In Kody's mind, Kody is the star of Sister Wives. It's hinted when he talked about, men have a different burden in polygamous marriages. I'm not going to mansplain it to you, but it's tougher on the men than it is the women. And he goes into the whole thing where he skirts the issue and then he backs away from it because he realizes what his audience is. But at the end of the day, this guy thinks that this is his show. And because it's his show, you don't make the star of the show look bad. And in his mind, I'm relatively certain that he believes that if he tells TLC, look, you either start filming the way I want you to film and displaying me the way I want you to display me, or I'm off the show and me and my family are done. Not recognizing the fact that there's a strong possibility that Cody and Robin are done anyway, because there's not much of a story there to tell. Even if they do a Seeking Sister Wives type show with Robin and Kody, how interesting is that going to be? How interesting could it possibly be if Kody refuses to answer any questions about Robin as is? You don't want to talk about Robin as is, so how the hell are you guys going to have your own show if you refuse to talk about her? if you refuse to even have a discussion about what's going on with you and her, how would you have a reality show where you guys are trying to introduce new women to the show? Because then when it becomes, those women become the star of the show, Robin ain't gonna like that. If these women, you know, who are probably gonna be younger and attractive and, you know, sleek and all that, and Robin is going to be sitting there, and even though these women may not be physical with Kody, because I'm sure that's going to be one of her rules, that they can't be, you know, physically engaged with one another, because she ain't trying to mess her bag up, she's very well going to be opposed to the fact that the fan base may very well latch onto these women. So she wants to elevate herself. And that's really what we've been seeing this whole time, is that Kody and Robin have been trying to push forward these stories to make it seem as though Robin is the victim. And that way you can swap Christine's popularity with Robin's unpopularity, where Robin becomes more popular and Christine becomes the unpopular one. That's his expectation of TLC. And then he becomes the hero of the story because he's overcoming the evil Christine, who's selfish and nasty and trying to destroy the family. So that's my take on the situation. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you think that I'm onto something, hit a 1. If you think I might be full of, you know what, go ahead and hit that 2. Let's just do a soft poll, see where everybody is. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I